My camera is recording this time. Thank you. I will not make that same mistake twice. Oh, wow. This is truly an exciting day that I literally think I might have my very first wardrobe malfunction. Like, I think, like, this slit is just, like, the express train to my undergarments. Anyways, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Unhinged with Chris Klemens. If you're watching, how you doing? If you aren't watching, I am dressed up as Wendy Williams, as Lady Liberty when she passed out on national television. I just thought it was very fitting. It's almost October, and I don't know why, to be quite f***ing honest, I'm not in costumes more on this show. I love being a weirdo. Why have I been suppressing my weirdness all of this time? Everyone's like, Chris, girl, we saw the Christmas episode with Britney. You have not been hiding it at all. But I just think, like, you know what? This is called Unhinged. Why have we been tame? I'm, like, afraid of the internet. I'm afraid of what people are going to say. F*** that, girl. I'm back again. No, I really just love dressing up, and, like, I'm really pissed I wasted half of October not doing this. But how you doing? What was that? What was that? Oh, no, that's Cardi B. Never mind. Anyways, before we get into the episode, please subscribe to Unhinged with Chris Klemens wherever you get your podcasts. We did just start an Unhinged with Chris Klemens YouTube channel, so go to youtube.com/@Unhinged with Chris Klemens, I think, or just go to youtube.com/Chris and you will see it there. We are still going to put the videos up on youtube.com/Chris for maybe a couple more weeks, and then we're just going to exclusively be putting them up on the YouTube channel for Unhinged with Chris Klemens. That, again, is just right on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris. Also, feel free to leave a review and rate it. We read some of them at the end of the episode. And also, we are doing our very first Unhinged after show over on patreon.com/Chris Klemens. So we're going to be talking all about the episode, just living, laughing, sucking, and f***ing. So come on and join us. And it's going to be a good time. I'm really excited for everything that's coming right now. We have a fun little episode planned. But it's sort of Halloween themed, sort of not. But I was just in New York and how you doing? I cannot stop. Like, put a wig on me and bitch, it's over. Like, I'm twiddling the hair. I'm like, the estrogen is flowing. I am feeling.
It's a great wig.
It was like, I mean, truly, I didn't even have to style it. It looks perfect. Shout out Amazon, the only time I feel like you have actually pulled through for me in my life. Yeah, it's not going to be a Halloween themed episode necessarily, but it will have Halloween elements to it. But I was just in New York and I saw a psychic, and that is like my favorite thing to do is when I see a psychic, be like the blankest wall you can be, because I feel that if you give them anything, I don't want to give them anything to run from. So, like, I know that I can come off as a little, you know, so I try to act straight and masculine. I say looking like Wendy Williams as she passes out. But I really was like trying to give him nothing. She was so fucking spot on. I got a palm reading and she was saying that I don't remember the order. I have a 33-minute recording of it that, like, I was thinking we could do on the podcast, but maybe I'll put on Patreon or something. I don't know. I did expose a lot of information about myself, so maybe I won't. But, like, she was like, when's your birthday? And I was like, can't you tell? And she was like, girl, I'm a f***ing psychic, not a mind reader or whatever. And she goes, I was like, November 5th. She goes, no, I feel like you're an October baby. And I text my mom the next day. I was supposed to be born in October. Like, so right then, and I had no idea of that. So right then and there, spooky dookie. She then is like, you've been doing something for a really, really long time, and you want to do something more. And she's like, I mean, have you been doing a job for a long time or something? And I've been doing YouTube for 11 years this December, and I am transitioning into doing like podcasting, touring, and stand-up. And I'm like, holy shit, this bitch is knocking it out of the motherfucking pork. And then she was talking about like my friends and stuff, and I had some friends waiting out on the street, and like the way a lot of New York psychics are, is that they have like window fronts. And so we could see my friends, and I was like, oh, well, what about them? And she goes, no, they're all good. She points to my friend Katya, who like we've talked about being soulmates. And she goes, that she right there, that redhead, is she an actress or another like whatever? And I was like, no, she's not. And she goes, you guys have the same aura. And I was like, we've been told, like, we think we're soulmates, and we've been told that before. And she was like, yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I was like, ah! I'm trying to think of what else she said. She said January, February, and March going to be huge months for me. Cannot wait. I cannot stop looking at myself in the monitor. It's really a problem. Like, I am feeling my Wendy Williams Oates realness. I'm going to be doing some TikToks on Unhinged clips. You can follow that account. I love TikTok. My God. I love just being crazy. Like, why has it taken us 102 episodes or something for me to be dressed as Wendy Williams as Lady Liberty? It really feels inappropriate. But yeah, I saw a psychic and it was just so crazy. I'm going to try and think of other things that she said, but I've been to psychics before and like, I don't really take it so, it's never that deep. But I'm always expecting to be scammed, but always hoping for like the most accurate shit. And I really felt like I was one step beneath like the Long Island medium, you know, clap if you're depressed. That's what I thought. I could literally just take over as Wendy Williams now. Like, what was that? Huh. All right. Oh, she talked about like how someone really, really close to me, like abandoned me or like didn't really treat me well or something. And she was like referring to my dad and she goes, yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, ooh, wow, he's just international, that hoe. Yeah, it was a wild experience. Like, we were literally there. It was just a simple $20 palm read. She looked at my palm for like 4 seconds and then said all of this. And I was like, okay. Oh, and she said, you're going to be moving. And I was like, well, I just moved. And she goes, oh, I don't know why I just said that. It felt really important. I was really busy tussling my luscious locks of mint green hair of LadyLibertyLocks.com. Liberty, 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 liberty. Anyways, I need to stop talking, which means I am going to throw it on over to you guys who left voicemails at 310-844-6459. Now, before we get into last episode's voicemails, I want to let you guys know the prompt for next week, which is I want you to call in to 310-844-6459, and I want you to tell us about your worst Halloween story. It can be a flop. It could be a horror movie. It could be like really anything, just your worst Halloween story. The worse, the better, you know? Like, we're looking for some real gossip here. We're looking for gossip on the Lilo. Anyways, this has been a lot already. Let's just hear from one of y'all. Hit it, DJ.
Oh my God. Okay, Chris. I know the prompt this week is something to do like spooky horror story, something like that.
Absolutely is.
So I'm going to tell you about the time that I saw my dead great-grandmother. And you're probably like, girl, what the F is going on?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I was 3 years old. I was staying the night at my grandma's house. And it had to have been like 5, 6 in the morning. I was with my sister, who was 7 at the time. And we both woke up at the same exact time. Mind you, my great-grandma was sick with like pancreatic cancer. So she was like older, kind of on her deathbed. That's like super sad. Love her, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But anyways, we both woke up at the same exact time in bed, and we look up at the wall, and our great-grandma is sitting there on a bale of hay, bitch, in jean overalls with a flannel underneath, waving at my sister and I. So clearly we were shitting our pants, and we ran out and got our grandma, and we were like, girl, what the, like, we just saw our great-grandma. And she was like, it's fine. Bitch, come to find out she died that morning. And that's how we knew that we sort of have a sixth sense. And that's not the first time some shit like that has happened to us. Well, there's my spooky little horror story. It's kind of cute looking back. She was saying bye to us, but it scared the shit out of me when I was 3 years old. So there's my little story. I love you guys. I love this podcast. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. I just don't want to run out of time. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you. I want to know about the other times as well. What the do you mean you saw grandma just on the prairie sitting on a bale of hay in your bedroom? What the does that mean? Also, why do you have a bale of hay in your bedroom? I'm so confused. Like, are you sure you didn't just like have an extra Capri Sun the night before or something? Like, what? I'm just, huh? What the do you mean you just saw your grandma? Like, that's so cute though. That really is. That's spooky as but that's cute. Oh, that's like my Nana. She waited for me and then she died. Crazy. Old people are crazy. Wow. Thank you for sharing that story. I'm kind of shook that at 3 you realized that you had talent. At 3, I honestly don't even know if I was potty trained. I don't know at what age that happens for people, but what I do know is that these sock boobs that I've got in right now are just all over the place. They are moving and grooving to the beat of their own Wendy Williams. How you doing, drum? So I was going to do a segment where we guess Halloween costumes for celebrities, but I guess I'll just be totally honest. We started it and it's so boring and I could not care less. So we cut it and we're just going to hear another voicemail. How you doing?
Hey y'all. So this week's prompt is horror stories.
Yes.
And so I went to a boarding school. I know, scary already.
I was just about to say, you stole my joke.
My room was like super haunted. Like people told me it was haunted before I moved in. And it was a senior year. And I'm like, oh, so gullible. So I was like, it's absolutely haunted. Well, the lights would go out randomly once we walked in and our window was open. But the shit got crazy when we'd wake up in the middle of the night to things flying off our walls. Literally, we watched like 30 paintings just like come from off the wall into the middle of the floor. We'd come back from class and our room would be completely destroyed. The beds would be moved. And like we kept our doors locked. So yeah, it was absolutely terrifying, but I mean, I'm still here, so I didn't get possessed or anything. But that's my horror story. Okay, love you. XOXO.
Thank you. Love you, XOXO. Sorry, I was just, I can't stop looking at myself in the monitor. Oh, God, it's all just a mental illness. That I would have moved out straight away. I would have said, boarding school, board me up and send me home. Or box me up and board me on the I don't know. There was a joke in there somewhere. I was really just so distracted, like adjusting myself. This is a problem because all I can think about is just the Wendy Williams. No, I don't understand how I just like need more. Like that doesn't scare me. Like, yeah, stuff got moved around and paintings flew off, but like where's the solution? You know? Like Kimberly Kardashian didn't like her cellulite, and so she made Skims. That was her solution. What is the solution to the dorm room? I mean, come on. Like, what did you guys do? Did you get Ghostbusters? Did you bring out Teresa Caputo from Long Island? I mean, I need to know what the solutions were. Did they say they moved out? I really, once again, can't emphasize how little I was listening because I was, in fact, in awe of my glamour.
Yeah, they were there.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, that's pretty unacceptable. I would have raised a complaint and been like, hi, I didn't realize I attended Hogwarts or Monsters University. So if we could figure that out, that would be swell. Now, in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to do one of my favorite news type of things, which is that of Florida Man. If you are unfamiliar, so much shit happens in Florida that just shouldn't ever happen, even in a game of Sims, that it's now its own genre of news called Florida Man. So I found 3 Halloween-related Florida Man stories, and I thought we would just get right into them. The first, they all also were from like Fox News, which I'm not going to say if the shoe fits, but listen, if the shoe fits. The first one we have is tutu-wearing Florida man breaks into farmer's market. Tampa, Florida. Deputies said a man wearing a tutu and wig broke into a Tampa farmer's market to drink soda and eat fruit in the hours following Halloween, according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. It's possible the man was dressed in a cheerleader costume, deputies said. Surveillance video embedded below shows that man and another man wearing a hoodie rummaging around with flashlights. The men notice the camera and use a cardboard box to cover it up. The 2 men broke out a glass door to get into the farmer's market around 1 a.m. Tuesday, then ate fruit and drank soda once inside. Anyone with information is asked to call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. I love that they were like, let's go get McDonald's. No, you know what? That sounds way too easy to go through a drive-thru. Let's break into a farmer's market. Also, like, I thought farmer's markets were like outside. What bougie-ass farmer's market? Although it's in Florida, so I guess that really explains it all as to how deranged it is. Clap if you think that these people are stupid. That was a Wendy Williams gag. Thank you so much for the commitment to this role. Moving on. Florida man overcomes fear of clowns with front yard full of them for Halloween. God, truly only Florida. In Clearwater, Florida, a man is getting over his fear of clowns by filling his home with them for Halloween. A front yard in Clearwater, Florida was turned into an impressive Halloween display filled with cackling clowns and carnival tunes. The footage, taken by Jeff Somerville, shows a vast array of light-up clown displays that cover the entire front yard of his home. I don't even think I would want one clown display anywhere near my home, let alone in my front yard. The giant custom-made display features a 35-foot clown tunnel where visitors can walk through to obtain candy at the end. I always thought clowns were so scary, and what way to better overcome my fears but doing a complete Halloween display dedicated to them. That is Florida logic. And also, why is this? Oh, I was expecting this to be crime. I was like, so when do the clowns come alive and kill everyone? I'm like, come on, Florida. This is a little too family friendly. I mean, when are the clowns going to commit? I don't even know what they would commit in Florida. So yeah, okay, that was really fucking stupid, it turns out. But lastly, this one I'm pretty excited about because it feels probably like the most fitting to be on Fox News. Florida man dressed as Trump at Halloween fair allegedly punched in face by 14-year-old. A Florida teen showed her apparent disdain for President Trump when she allegedly punched a man who was dressed up as the commander-in-chief at a Halloween fair over the weekend, according to authorities. The 14-year-old girl walked up to the man who was standing in line with his family Saturday night for a haunted house at the Collier County Fairgrounds and punched him in the jaw, officials said. The Trump fan told authorities he approached the teen to ask her why she did that, and a deputy later questioned the 14-year-old and her parents. Investigators said that the sole motivation was to strike Trump, and a county school system employee reportedly told officials the incident was filmed and posted to Instagram. Oh my God, the teen was later charged with a misdemeanor battery. Where is this Instagram? Okay, the link on Fox News. Shocking, Fox News not working. That's quite the surprise. Wow, clap if you would do that same thing that girl did. That's what I thought. Now, before we carry on with the rest of the video, wow, my voice sounded so much like Miss Williams. I wanted to thank today's sponsor, which is HelloFresh. Now, if you don't know, with HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I talk about this a lot when working with HelloFresh. The fall is always really busy for me, whether it's taking the kids to soccer practice or running parent-teacher association meetings. No, the fall is very busy, and I don't often have time to run out and get groceries, and that is why I love HelloFresh, because I get everything pre-portioned. So I end up not having food that goes bad because it's all going right into the meals, which are just phenomenal. And that's another reason I love HelloFresh, is because I feel like I get so much recipe inspiration from the recipes that they include. I even keep some of the cards that are my favorite and then make it later on when I do decide that I want to go to the grocery store. But dude, I've really been not wanting to go to the grocery store lately, which is reason number 3. I love HelloFresh. I'm really getting in a place in life where I'm just tired of ordering like takeout, and I try switching those meals that I would to HelloFresh, and I found that I've been saving money. HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping, and also it's 25% less expensive than takeout, which means there's less stress in your day and more money in your pocket. And who doesn't love time and money on your side? Now, if you want to try out HelloFresh for yourself, go to hellofresh.com/50unhinged and use code 50unhinged for 50% off plus free shipping. That is hellofresh.com/50unhinged and use code 50unhinged for 50% off plus free shipping. Girls, go give yourself the time this fall by getting HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Let's get back to the episode. Boink, boink. Okay, let's hear another voicemail, because after that, we've got some Redditing to do, and I'm very excited for the Reddits. So before we read it, let's hear it.
Hey, Chris. It's Elena.
Hi.
Anyways, my job, I'm a ghost tour guide. You asked for spooky stories. So it's not really spooky, it's just weird.
Okay.
So, I take my tours through a haunted mansion at my work. And some lady was wearing a skirt and she was leaning against the wall. And then she shit herself and it went through her skirt. It got on the wall, dripped all the way down. And then I'd take her to the restroom, dripped all the way down the stairs. She had to take off her shoes because it was getting in her shoes and everything. And then she cleaned herself up. It got everywhere. And I had to call my manager to come help. So basically he didn't let us stop the tours. So we were giving tours and you could just hear him gagging as he's cleaning up the shit. But anyways, that lady cleaned herself up and then got back on the trolley and, finished the tour. So, yeah, that's my horror story for my spooky job. Bye-bye.
Okay. I love that you prefaced that with saying it's not really scary or spooky. It's just weird. No, babe, that's a full-fledged nightmare. That is horrendous. But also, I think I'm 10 years away from that. Like, I think I'm 10 years away from just literally being that woman. Like, I literally just got a skirt tailored today that I'm just ready to take a big old spooky dookie in. I'm also surprised that you took her to the restroom and not like a crematorium, because I would have wanted to be put down immediately after that happening. I also just have to think that that is a health hazard, leaving the ride open while a human being is physically and audibly gagging over the smell of one woman's literal shart dripping down the wall and in her shoes. Oh my God, that is actually repulsive. Like that, that really doesn't make me happy. That really makes me upset. Oh my God. Wow, we're going to keep moving along. I wanted to feel better about my life and just sort of, you know when you like hear of other people's misfortunes, such as Queen Shitter Skirt? Well, I went on the Reddit today. I f***ed up and I found some good ones that I really want to share. So kids, gather around for circle time. Gather around. It's circle time. First up, we have today I f***ed up by mistaking a child for a dog. And as someone turning 30 in like 2 weeks, I feel like this too is very much on my horizon. Today I was walking home from the shops. Where I live, we have very, very few streetlights, and it was extremely dark. I was walking along, and there was a woman just sort of in the streetlight, but she had a leash. I love dogs. Total dog person. So I start looking to see the dog, and I can't quite see the dog because of the way the light was in the road. But then the dog moves into the light more. I realize that the dog has one of those rain coats on. It was pink with hearts on it. So cute. It made sense for him to be wearing a coat since it was cold and rainy in the UK right now. So I did the proper British thing, walked past, gave the awkward smile, and said, "Your dog's coat is so cute." Her face dropped. It was then that said dog stood up after crawling around on the wet grass, and what appeared before me was a 3 to 4-year-old. She had one of those backpack harnesses on. The woman was mortified. I was mortified. Confused, bright red, and stumbling over my words, I spat out the worst apology you'd ever hear and ran off. I don't think I've ever embarrassed myself more. I'm mostly grateful I was on the other side of the road, so my escape route was easier. So what I have learned from this is kids' harnesses terrify me, and never to try complimenting people's dogs again. And to the poor woman whose child I mistook for a dog, I am so sorry. Also, thought I'd make it clear. Harnesses are great, in my opinion, for kids. They ensure your child is safe and has independence, but please don't let them crawl around. Imbeciles like me might mistake your child for a dog if it's a bit dark. I just thought that was somehow really wholesome and heartwarming. And I know we don't often go there on this show, but you know what? Today we're going there. We are brave. We are going there with the wholesome. I just loved the idea of approaching another human being verbally with the utmost confidence, because why would you think it's a kid? And then having it stand up before you. I mean, wow. The chemical imbalance that would have put my body into is just unreal. Next up, today I f***ed up by buying my son a toy at the zoo and not warning my husband. We have family visiting, so yesterday I took my son and his cousins to the zoo. My son saw a toy rubber snake there and really wanted it, so I got it for him. I meant to warn my husband, but forgot after a very long day wrangling rugrats. Oh, God, this mom already sounds annoying, respectfully. It was on his bedroom floor this morning when my husband went to get him up and ready for the day. My husband, who is from Jordan originally and had multiple run-ins with venomous snakes as a child, so is understandably scared of them. He immediately screamed, grabbed it, threw it out the window. It took 10 minutes to calm him down and another 15 searching the yard while my son cried to find the toy again. His cousins were also crying because they were confused and didn't know what was happening. I need coffee. Holy shit. The way I think about having kids is more and more often as I get older. And then I read stories like this, and I just don't think that kids are in my cards. I want them, and I really do, but that is a lifelong commitment. And I don't think I'd survive. I'm just going to say it. Clap if you think you'd survive being a parent. That's what I thought.
You'd be great. Plus Halloween costumes, you'd be awesome. Could you imagine you with your kids at Halloween?
Yeah. Based off of what I'm wearing today, I don't think that would be the best idea because they would be dressed up as Wendy Williams, like stage managers, like with denim jackets and a hoodie and glasses. Like they would look like just normal kids. And I would look like a cross-dressing Lady Liberty. So, no, I can't imagine that my kids would stay in my possession very long, mostly because of CPS. Let's just hear another voicemail and wrap this up because this episode has felt like a fever dream, mostly because it has been. Hi.
Sam, Justin, Jake, and Booger. I tried to leave a voicemail, but I left it way too long that it hung up on me. Rude. So I'm just going to make this super quick, super fast.
Okay.
Horror story. Calling in for the horror story. Circa 2011. All right. I'm like 13 years old. Me and my best friend were staying at a cabin in the woods. We called this boy. We want to get high, right? He brings over a nug, what we think is weed. Come to find out later, it's probably like sativa or something, K2, some creepy, sketchy little thing. We both smoke it. We get a little trippy, little weird. We're also like freshly smoking, so we're like, ooh, this is fun, this is scary. We decided it's time to leave this kid's car, go back to our cabin in the woods, alone, without him. We used him, goodbye. My best friend and I are linked arms. We're walking back to the cabin in the woods. Yes. All of a sudden, both of us grab each other's arms as tight as we can, and we book it like track stars to this cabin, right? Because something freaked us both the out. Didn't say anything until we got into the cabin, locked the door, and hid under the blankets, because our 13-year-old selves are like, what in the We both saw the same thing. We saw a little girl standing half behind a tree in a white, ripped up, like, Victorian gown dress.
No.
And to this day, we're still friends, you know, like 14 years later. We still believe we saw the same exact thing in the woods.
Yeah, I believe you.
There's my horror story. There's no answer or conclusion to what the F we actually saw, but yeah, there's my horror story. It's the one thing that sticks with me to this day. And I still smoke, so it didn't it didn't scare me away.
Good.
Anyway, I love your podcast.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening to me.
Oh my God. Bye. No, I fully believe that you saw what you saw. I like have this thing where it's like one part of me wants this to happen to me at one point, but then another part of me wants to just respond to this voicemail with, I do not claim one fucking hair of this energy. And I've got lots of gorgeous hair on my head right now, but I don't want a single one of that story. I don't think emotionally. I mean, okay, cabin in the woods was your own first up. Second of all, how were 13-year-olds renting a cabin in the woods? Third of all, how did you even know what weed was at the age of 13? I remember when I went to high school, someone was like, oh, weed. And I was like, oh my God, my mom grows weed in her front yard. Like dandelions? And they were like, what? And I was like, what? And then I was popular in high school. Oh, God. Well, thank you, everybody. Before we go, I wanted to do this episode's toast, and we have 2 fun little reviews and comments that I want to share. The first one is a review by Call Me Brick on Apple Podcasts, and it says 5 stars. The title is Sickening, and it says, okay, but slay the boots house down contour occur. And while I think the 3-year-old Victorian child in the woods would literally break out in hives if someone said that to her, I am all for it. So cheers. Thank you. Call me Brick. If you want to be the next week's toast, be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you got your podcast. Leave 5 stars and a good review. It helps us out. I've got this white 2019 Riesling that I got in the Finger Lakes with my mom, and it is literally my favorite wine right now. And then the next one is a comment from the YouTube episode on youtube.com/Chris, but also youtube.com/@unhinged. And you can subscribe to the new channel, which is where the episodes will start going. But this comment says, Chris, one time you ate a 300 milligram edible before getting on a flight, and now I just remember that sometimes. That is from RB1278. Yeah, that story really sticks with me too. It turns out that you eat your body weight and then Wendy Williams' body weight in edibles and get on an airplane, and that will stick with you for life. I don't know what I was thinking, but I think about that experience quite often too. And it is also a vlog that lives on my YouTube channel. I don't know. God, I mean, the way that I just think about how lucky I am to still be alive is crazy. Hi, Booger. I know, you're wondering why I'm dressed like this. I'm going to get out of costume, but thank you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe to Unhinged wherever you get your podcasts. Go to youtube.com/unhinged to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a review or a comment if you want to be featured in the next episode. And I'll see you next time. How you doing? Oh, nope. I'm going to end this episode. End scene.